And when your name and publication is called out, you will then be unmuted. And you can then proceed to ask your questions. I repeat, please raise your hand on Zoom. And when your name and
Gaat hier helemaal mis. Ja. Dat is dan niet dus.
Sorry, guys. I believe there has been an internet issue with the host. He will be back. But in the meantime, let's kickstart the virtual media day with the first question. First question for Reinier de Ridder is from Drake Rates of My MMA News. Drake, please proceed with your question.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Good to see you again, Reinier. How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
So, you're getting a chance here kind of surprisingly to, maybe become a double champ. Was this something you always wanted to do?
It wasn't the plans, but I was planning to defend the belt first. So skipped a step, but it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I imagine so. And do you think that, the short notice benefits you more, or how do you feel about that aspect?
Well, I was training, so I was getting ready. I'm in great shape. I'm fitter. I'm stronger than ever. Very sharp. I just took a week off for holidays, but maybe that benefited me as well. Didn't have too much time yet to get my mind to think about the matchup too much to get my mind ready, but feel good. I'm excited to go out there and do it all again.
Was it kind of an easy decision to take this fight, considering you guys just fought pretty recently?
Yeah, I was on a holiday with the fam. I was at the beach, and then I got the call on Thursday morning. I was about to say yes right away, but I said, let me get 2 seconds to talk to my wife, and then called right back, said, yeah, let's do it.
So if you do end up holding 2 belts, are you going to want to be super active going forward? That's double the responsibilities.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always said I want to be active. Let me fight every 3 months.
All right, awesome. Thanks so much, Reinier. Good luck.
Thank you.
Second question is from Jay Anderson, Cage Side Press.
I'm ready.
Jay?
Hey, how's that?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Awesome. Sorry about that. So Reinier, I wanted to ask, first of all, the weight here is another factor, obviously going up in weight for this one. How do you expect that to factor into this fight?
I'm at 97, 98 kilos right now. So after the week of holiday, 93 would have been a challenge anyway. So it benefits me pretty well.
And, getting to go up against Ongla again, there's some great rivalries in combat sports, from Frazier versus Ali and McGregor and Diaz, even in MMA. I don't think there's too much bad blood here, but do you kind of relish the idea of having that sort of rivalry in your career?
No, I'm just going to take him out right away again. To get a rivalry, should beat me, and he's not going to beat me anytime.
Fair enough. And I guess my last question then, how do you see this fight going?
This is something I've been thinking of a lot the last couple of days, of course, but I think it's going to be a little bit more of a hassle to get him down this time. Last time he really ran towards me and tried to put the pressure on early, which really benefited me in taking him down. I think this time he's going to be a little bit more hesitant. He's going to be a little bit more careful. So I think I'm going to have to put in a lot more work to get him down. but I still see him ending up on the ground and getting choked out again. Would be nice to get it done faster, but I can't promise anything this time.
All right. Well, thanks very much. Best of luck in the fight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. The third question is from Nick Atkin from South China Morning Post. Nick, kindly go ahead with your question.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey RDR, how you doing, man?
Good, man. Thank you.
Good to see you back. Wasn't expecting to see you so soon. I enjoyed that Instagram story. I think you're gonna hop on a plane and go strangle someone.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about it a little bit there with Jay, but is that the end goal for you to get that submission again, or do you see any other way to victory?
Absolutely, absolutely. I always say it's nice to show off some of the striking because I've really put in a lot of work, but ultimately I'm here to represent jiu-jitsu. I think it's my first love, martial arts, and I'm always here to represent it. And I'm really looking forward to squeezing that neck again.
Do you think it was a risk for Ongla to take this fight because he's been preparing for a completely different fight with Vitaly Bigdash, and now he's got you? Was there any upside for Ongla to taking this? Do you think he might have been wise to say no?
That's a good question. I haven't really thought about that too much, to be honest. Well, I think after a loss like that, that early and that dominantly, I think he'll the last half year, last 6 months, I think he's been very active anyway to correct his mistakes. He's a true martial artist, so I don't expect anything else. So I expect him to be very much ready, and I expect him to be the best guy I've ever faced.
I mean, do you think he's had enough time to really correct those mistakes from that first fight? I mean, can he have learned enough to stop what you're going to bring in the octagon? Sorry, not the octagon, the circle, the cage. Is there enough time for him to fix that? Yeah.
No, there's not enough time for him to catch up to me in a lifetime.
And just one more for me, a little more seriously. Obviously, a lot's going on back home in Myanmar for Ongla, and just do you have a message? I know you guys had that kind of respect for each other and a little bit of fun with the rivalry, but it's quite a serious time back there, isn't it? Just do you have anything to say to his fans? Yeah,
stay strong. Hopefully, you'll get access to the match, and I hope you keep on supporting the guy. He's a great icon over there, and I hope to be like that for my people someday.
Thank you, mate. And I believe it's King's Day tomorrow. Is that right?
That's the truth.
Yeah, happy King's Day and all that. Cheers, man.
Thank you.
Sorry about the technical difficulty, Reinier. Good to see you again, my man. We got this next question. It's from Jude Briosis of Overtime Heroics MMA. Please go ahead.
Hey, Reinier. Huge respect to you for taking this bout on short notice. Did the fact that you won versus Ong before motivate you more to take this fight on short notice? Like, if he was not the champion, would you still take a title shot with the same kind of circumstances?
Sorry, I didn't catch it fully. Can you go again?
Did the fact that you won versus Ong before motivate you more to take this fight on short notice? Like, if he was not the champion, would you still take the title shot with the same kind of circumstances?
Well, after the fight with Abasov fell out, I was kind of shouting off the rooftops that anybody, anytime, anywhere. So I kind of felt obligated to take it anyway. But this is a huge chance for me, man, to become champ just like that. It's even better than Abasov. So it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, pretty cool. Good luck on your fight.
Thank you.
Reinier, we got a question by Justin of Kish Sports. He says, thank you for the time. Tell us about your preparation for the fight on such short notice.
So I got the word Thursday that it might be happening. Then Friday, got the full go ahead. So I sparred Thursday night, trained Friday, and then got on the plane Saturday. So didn't get too much time to prepare, to be honest.
You train full time. You train all year round. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. I train every day of my life. And I was going with full intensity because of the fight I was scheduled to take with Abasov. So I'm in great shape.
Have you ever taken a fight on such short notice?
Yeah, I think so. Back in the day, the first couple of pro fights, usually anybody falls out last minute, and I've never said no to a fight.
It's going to be a great rematch. We're looking forward to it.
Me too.
Our next question is going to be from Conan Altatis from Conan Daily. Conan, please go ahead.
Reinier, I assume you're more comfortable fighting in middleweight than in light heavyweight. What exactly were the steps that you have to take to make sure that you are on light heavyweight weight?
I didn't take too much steps and didn't have too much time. But I'm eating a lot right now, which is all right. Which is a first because normally I'm just eating fruits and vegetables and drinking a lot of water around this time. So it's all right. It's cool. I'm at a decent weight, 97, 98 kilos. I don't really care too much about the weight difference or whatever. If I show up in the best of, and show up in the best of my abilities, I think I can beat anybody, any weight, anywhere.
All right. I'm not going to ask you about your game plan. As you mentioned, you will try to choke him again, and I assume Ongla will avoid the ground this time and try to knock you out. So let me ask you about Ongla's situation. As you know, while he's training in the US, his country is experiencing a crisis right now. His win will be a great inspiration for his fans who are suffering from violence right now. How do you feel about that?
I don't really know what you're looking for. Can you elaborate on the question?
I don't know, would you feel guilt if he lost?
Well, last time I felt sorry for him. It's this business is very rough, man. A loss is devastating. A win is ecstatic and euphoric. So to some extent, I always feel bad for the guy opposite me. So yeah, maybe a little bit, yeah.
All right, that would be all. Thank you and good luck, Reinier.
Thank you, Conor.
The next question goes to Ivan Stewart Saldejano of Dugout Philippines. Ivan, please proceed.
Thank you, Gianni. All right. Reinier, I'm just curious. Who told you to get ready because you might step in for Vitaly? Just curious.
Well, it was something in the back of my mind the last couple of weeks. Because Vitaly is known to pull out a little bit. He's been pulling out a lot. I've been matched up with him. He pulls out. Now I understand this has to do with COVID, which is a big risk anyway right now to miss the fight. So it was in the back of my mind. So I never really let go of the training. Never really let go of the killer mindset. But then Thursday morning, I got a call by my manager, and then we were still expecting maybe something else to go wrong because we were waiting on approval from the government here. And then Friday we got the good news. Wasn't on play by Saturday. Sunday was here.
All right. So you've been used to fighting at one on a weekend, like for example, if not Friday night, it's on a Saturday night. But now you're going to be fighting on a Thursday morning, and it's going to be shown in America there by Wednesday evening local time. So how's it like playing in the midweek instead of a weekend?
It's different. It's I think that the day doesn't really matter too much, but the morning thing is something I'm really working on to be sharp at that time. So I'm going to bed very early and waking up very early, so I have a few hours to get in the right mindset before the fight. And we'll see, because it's the first time I'm ever experiencing this.
All right, thank you very much. Standing up.
Thank you, Ivan. Next question is from Jack Gottsell of Tarps Off Sports. Jack.
Hi, Reinier.
Hi.
So do you plan on defending your belt at 2 weight classes if you come out victorious this, or do you want to focus on only 1 weight class?
No, I want to be as active as possible. So give me an opponent every 3 months. I'll switch. Middleweight, light heavyweight, it's all good.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next one's from Jacob Janowski of Bloody Canvas MMA. Jacob, please go ahead.
Bloody Canvas.
How you doing, my man?
Hey.
All right. So I know your last fight was fairly short and nearly flawless, but what do you think you can build on from that last fight?
So I know how he feels, which is an important thing for me. So once I grabbed him, I know I'm in full control the moment I lay my hands on him. Seen his speed. I've seen his. I felt a little bit of his power. There's some stuff I want to improve on in the striking. I have some different takedowns I want to show this time. The takedown I hit from the switch last time was working in camp all the months before that fight. But I have some new stuff which I'm very eager to show, and I got some judo stuff from back in the day I would like to show again. So yeah.
And I know you were in camp, and I know you're in shape still, but how do you think your cardio will hold up at a higher weight? And yeah, how do you think it'll hold up at a higher weight?
Well, I'm basically at the weight I walk around at outside of a fight, so I don't think anything's changed.
All right, that's all I got. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you. Nice name, by the way.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
We got one more from Jackson Garst of Phantom Sports Network. Jackson, go ahead.
Hey, Reinier, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, Jack?
Hey, pleasure to talk. I just got a couple quick questions for you. Of course, he's had a full camp, and you've only had 7 days to prepare. How do you feel with your advantage with your grappling compared to his just full-out cardio and speed and going to have that precision?
I'm on the same cardio and speed, I think, because I've been preparing just as hard. The only thing I took off is a week, and to be honest, I still train every day. So. I don't think there's too much of a discrepancy there. Nobody can ever. It's very hard. Let me say this: it's very hard to pick up the grappling in 6 months.
Thank you for that. And also, just on the same level, do you expect to see anything different from Ongla this time compared to the last fight? And do you think you'll have a different approach? And do you think you'll have a different approach in this fight compared to the last one?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is going to be a completely different fight. I think he's going to hang back a little bit. Don't think he's going to come out that aggressive. There'll be a bit more hesitation from his side. I think it's going to be up to me to push the pace. I'm going to press him back, hit him with some good shots, take him down, choke him out.
All right. Thank you for your time, brother, and good luck.
Thank you.
Reinier, you became the one middleweight world champion in the last 12 months, and now you have an opportunity to become a 2-division world champion. Did you ever think that you were going to ever have an opportunity to become a 2-division world champion?
It was in the plans. So I saw Big Dash and Ong were going to fight at light heavyweight, and I was already looking at that to be my next opponent after Abasov. So that was the goal, and it's just skipped a step, and it's very cool to have this opportunity right now. Yeah, absolutely.
Looking at the middleweight division for a moment, who do you think deserves the next shot at the title?
Well, I've been saying this right after the Titus fight. I said I'm not really looking forward to fight that guy ever again, but he's the only one that got away. He's the only one I couldn't finish. So that's one that I would like to get back one day.
Ongla said in previous interviews that he vowed to get the middleweight title back. How do you respond to that?
Well, let's focus on this one first time.
All right, we got a couple rapid fire questions here before we let you go.
Yeah.
All right, whatever comes to your mind, go ahead and shoot. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
I don't know, man. Pre-science. So being able to look ahead would be cool.
Favorite country you ever visited?
I like the Dutch Antilles. I've been there, did my internship there. It was very cool. And from there, I went to Colombia, which is a very cool country. Been to New York, which is an amazing place. Trained there at Henzo's Academy. And I'd like to go down to Puerto Rico to train with the Denner Dead Squad someday soon.
What's the one food you can't live without?
Eggs. I got chickens in my backyard and I eat eggs every day.
If you weren't fighting for a living, what would you be doing?
The same stuff. Teach people, physical therapist. Yeah, good life.
It's a pretty good life. Talk about the craziest thing that you've ever done.
Take a fight on 6 days' notice for the World Championship.
What compliment do people give you the most?
When I'm here, you're so tall.
What about back home?
After a roll, after I train, oh, you're so strong. You're so strong, man. It's never about my technique. It's always, you're so strong.
Favorite submission?
There can only be one, man. Mata Leao, rear naked choke.
Mata Leao. Do you have one favorite fight that you can think of?
Of mine or?
Of yours, your career.
Well, I'd say the last one was pretty cool. But I've had some fights before one in which I've really struggled, which are good reminders as well. I wasn't too particularly proud about the Titus fight afterwards, but it's one that really sticks in my head, and I think about that one a lot. That there's no fight that really taught me as much as that one. So I'd say the Titus fight is my favorite fight.
All right. That's it from us, Reinier. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, guys. Thank you
we
to
got
the
one
media.
more question. I lied. We got one more question.
Go on.
I'll let you at it, all right?
I'm in quarantine anyway, so.
Now we got two more questions, so you're staying for a little bit.
Okay. All right. Otherwise, I'll be sent back to my room anyway, so I'm happy to sit here.
What belt would mean more to you, getting your first belt at middleweight or your second belt on such short notice?
To be honest, the middleweight thing was a lot more. I've been focusing on that for years now. And this is something I've only been thinking of for the last 6 days. So I think the middleweight one was a lot more meaningful. But it will be nice to put this stuff to bed finally. Never to have to think about Ong ever again after this.
That question was from MMA Island, Christy Santiago.
Thank you.
You got anything you want to say to your fans?
Tune in. People in Holland, wake up early or stay up late. I hope to see you guys Thursday morning. Don't blink.
What's the quarantine process like for you when you get home? Is there a lockdown or quarantine you got to go into?
No, just go home, kiss the family, back to work. Because we're doing worse than any other country, so.
Well, hopefully you get to go back with a new shiny belt.
Exactly. One belt here. Be cool, right?
That'd be super cool. Thank you so much for your time, man. That was the last one from us. All the best, man.
All right, thanks. I'm off to my hotel room again.
That was Reinier de Ridder stepping up on short notice to take on Ong Lang Sang for the one light heavyweight world title now. Okra Yun, unfortunately, will not be joining us today. We have next joining us the voice, Michael Schiavello. We're going to get Mike in here to talk about these upcoming matchups on April 28th. So please don't go anywhere. Joining us next is Michael Schiavello.
I haven't turned my microphone on. There you go. How's that, Adam? Does that work for you? I realize I've just been talking for 2 minutes with no one listening. Let me know if it's fixed now. Should be okay. Good now. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I was just talking shit, so I don't think you missed much. I was just saying, yeah, busy day yesterday, UFC 261. My brain is completely fried. I think that's why I called it the Octagon when I asked Reinier de Ridder a question. Good to see Reinier back, though, taking that fight on short notice, but it's not like he hasn't been preparing and training. He was getting set to fight Cameron Abasov, so I think he'll be in shape. The question is, can Ongla do anything to stop him? I'm not sure. I genuinely think there's not much upside to Ongla taking this fight. I think if he's going to beat Reinier, he needs to really focus on Reinier. He's been focused on Vitaly Bigdash for two months at least. So interesting to see. Maybe the weight's going to play a factor. But any questions, guys? Let me know in the chat quickly. I think we've got 2 minutes before Michael Schiavello, the One Championship commentator, The Voice, joins the One on TNT4 Media Day. And I will gladly shut up again and leave you all to listen to the real people. And let me know if you've got any questions for Michael that I can ask on your behalf. I'll think of a few as well. And then after Michael is Shinya Aoki in around about 10 o'clock Singapore time. So Schiavello in 1 minute, Shinya Aoki 10 o'clock Singapore time and Hong Kong time. Don't know where you guys are in the world, but thank you for watching again. Appreciate the interaction and all that. Any questions as well, let me know. Indeed, I am going to slink off into the background again soon. And Reinier said it as well. I've got some eggs like Reinier. Reinier has chickens in his backyard. I don't have those, but I do have some eggs I'm going to eat. Breakfast time. What a crazy day yesterday was. Slept about 4 hours. I think I finished about 2 a.m. Long day, but this is what we do. Here's a comment. What's up, man? That short notice sucks, though, especially since Reinier and Bigdash's styles are very different. Yeah, this is what I'm thinking is just how can you prepare for Reinier on a week's notice? It's such a difficult style to face, and Ongla had no answers to it last time. It's the kind of thing. Anyway, I think they.
Welcome back to day one of the One on
TNT4
TNT4 Virtual Media Day. We just spoke with Reinier de Ridder. And joining us now is one commentator, The Voice, Michael Schiavello. Michael, thank you for joining us again. How's fight week going in Singapore?
Hey, Johnny, thanks for having me on. Singapore's back in fight fever this week for the final show of our One on TNT Season 1. And I think this is going to be the best show yet, mate. It's going to be awesome.
I was about to ask you that. What do you think of the overall One on TNT4 card? You believe this one's going to be the best one in the series?
I think so, especially with these changes that have come on board the last couple of weeks. I mean, having Eddie Alvarez back on the card is always exciting, and him taking on Okra Yun is going to be a very hard contest for Eddie because Okra Yun is on a tremendous streak. I think it's 3 in a row now, and just having beaten Marek Gafarov being the former featherweight world champion. And Okra Yun brings a style that's very problematic for Eddie Alvarez. The straight right hands, the way he keeps distance. We know that Eddie likes to get on the inside, and Oak's a guy who likes to keep people on the outside. That's going to be problematic for Eddie. And then Oak's got tremendous takedown defense. He's got a great triangle on the ground. But this is a must-win fight for Eddie. If he wants to crack the top 5, if he wants to have any sort of shot at a chance against the champion, Christian Lee, Eddie's got to beat Oak. And also, Ongla now facing de Ridder on the card, I think is superb. That to me is more exciting than Ongla versus Bigdash. The fact that de Ridder's now hunting Ongla across 2 divisions to take both belts from him is insane. And also having Rugrub open up the show, Umar Khan against Grushenko, that one's not going to go the distance. So anyway, you look at it, I think this is the most exciting lineup we've had over the last 4 weeks.
We're going to get into some of that, Michael, but we got some media here. To the media just joining us, just a reminder to ask questions. Please raise your hand on Zoom, and when your name and publication is called out, we will unmute you so you can direct your question to Michael. Michael, we have a first question here from Asian Persuasion MMA. Leon Jennings. Leon, please go ahead.
Yes, hello, Leon.
Leon, can you hear us?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
You hear you now.
Yes, hello, Leon.
Hello, mate. Yeah, how tough a challenge is this for Ongla to go from fighting Vitali to De Ridder on short notice as well?
It's obviously there's difficulty involved because Ongla, a change of opponent, a completely different opponent. But I think that there's more impetus for Ongla to fight De Ridder. De Ridder's the man that took his middleweight title. The Big Dash trilogy has been a long time in the making, but it was so long ago, whereas De Ridder is fresh in Ongla's mind. And you've got to wonder how much inside of Ongla's head is De Ridder after beating him in, what was it, around 3 minutes last time, choking him out, which was a sight we're not familiar with. So I think it's going to give great gusto, great steam to Ongla to have this match, have this revenge match, defend the light heavyweight title, which he's always looked so comfortable at light heavyweight. I mean, he destroyed Brandon Vera at light heavyweight. Will it affect him being on short notice? Well, both men are on short notice, but this is defending his gold against the man who took his middleweight title. So I don't think the story here, the rivalry between the two is just superb. And I don't think the short notice is going to matter too much. I think they're going to go hell for leather on this one.
I think so. One more quickly. Shinya Aoki, if he gets past Edward Folayang, should he be in the title mix? I mean, since he lost to Ben Askren about almost 4 years ago, he's been on a tear, only losing to Christian Lee. But not many people are talking about him being in title contention.
Look, there's an argument to be made that Aoki should be on the main portion of the TNT card, but what we've got to understand is that with the TNT shows, we are looking to expand a market to an audience that is not familiar to seeing a mixed martial arts product, let alone a one championship product. So, how do you do that? If there's one thing that everybody likes, and especially people who have never seen mixed martial arts or one championship before, they're going to like all-out action. Everyone likes heavyweights. Everyone likes heavyweights who finish. And between Umar Khan and Grishenko, you've got two guys who are both undefeated, both have 100% finishing rates. And one way to kick off the show, which pretty much is going to be a guarantee that the first fight on TNT, when you tune in, will not go the distance. And these aren't two sloppy, horrible to watch heavyweights. These are two guys who bang. This is one guy who's a Senegalese wrestling superstar, wrestling champion, who has finished people in emphatic style so far. So I think it's a good call because you've got to remember that while if this was a market for hardcores, as we are, Leon, I would agree with you. Aoki deserves to be the number one fight against Folayang in the Trilogy match to open up the TNT card. But this is us trying to get to a larger mainstream US audience that has not seen mixed martial arts a lot, that has certainly not seen one championship a lot, that is coming off the back of AEW professional wrestling. And what better way to entice them to stick around for the full 90 minutes than to give them, two guys who combined weigh over 530 pounds and also know how to finish. So I think it's a good call to have them first up on the TNT card.
I agree. I think so. What I meant was, should Shinya be in the title mix conversation to challenge Christian Lee for the title, considering he's been on a tear the last few years apart from losing to Christian?
Well, most definitely, I think he's going to have his title, in his sights. A win against Folayang may set him up for another match against Christian, but Christian disposed of him fairly easily last time to win the title. I'd much rather see, pardon me, Christian take on Eddie Alvarez if Alvarez beats Okray. I mean, Christian's cleaned out the entire lightweight division so far. So the only one that's of real interest with Gaffarov having been beaten by Okrayun is the winner of, Oak versus Alvarez now. Aoki's going to want another title shot. He's going to want a second match against Christian for the title to try and get it back. But, he's going to get through his arch nemesis, Folayang. I don't think a win against Folayang guarantees Aoki a title shot. It guarantees him a look at it, but it doesn't guarantee him a title shot yet.
Cool, yeah, I agree. Cheers, mate.
Thank you, Leon.
Thank you, Leon. Our next question will go to Drake Riggs of My MMA News. Drake, please go ahead.
Good to see you, Michael. How you doing?
Hello, Drake, mate. Thank you.
So I'm going to put you right on the spot here. Which fight are you looking forward to the most this weekend?
Did you ask which one am I looking forward to the most out of these fights on TNT?
Yes.
Oh man, that's hard to answer. I think everyone knows that Aung La Sung is one of my favorite fighters in the world, and it's always excitement when Aung La fights. So I'm always looking forward to seeing Aung La, and I think we are going to see a different Aung La to what we saw in his loss against De Ridder for the middleweight title. Let's not forget that Aung La in that fight was coming back very quickly after suffering COVID. And there are still so many question marks surrounding professional athletes returning from bouts with COVID and how the disease affects them. And I don't think this has been addressed enough, to be honest, after Aung La lost to De Ridder and losing, like I said, in 3 minutes. How did COVID affect him? In a very humid environment in Florida where he lives, where he trains, what strain of COVID he got. And we're told by doctors and physicians that, COVID can kill you, of course, but the debilitating effects of your breathing, of your ability to recover, to train, to get your oxygen back, to get your respiratory system back. I mean, what were the effects? Aung La coming back so quickly after suffering COVID, taking on De Ridder, who beat him for the title. How much did COVID play into that? But now we're well past that. Aung La's fully recovered. We're well past his bout with COVID. And he's at a much preferred weight, I think, at light heavyweight. I think we're going to see a mean, nasty, determined Aung La Sung who's completely COVID-free against a De Ridder who is evil and nasty. And that's nasty, man. That's evil to want to to hunt a guy across 2 weight divisions, the same guy to take his title in 2 weight divisions. That is nasty. That's evil. That's scary. So I'm most looking forward to that main event. And also, Derek, because if people haven't seen Aung La fight before, I mean, man, you're in for a treat. You picture Mark Hunt crossed with Joe Frazier, and that's the striking of Aung La. His rhythm, his power, his uppercuts, his movement, not to mention his leg kicks, that Dutch-style kickboxing he's got. I mean, this is a man with a steel pipe in his right hand that just wrecks people. How's De Ridder going to stand up to that? De Ridder's going to take him down. It's the only chance De Ridder has is to take him down. I can't wait for that main event.
Very well said, sir. And so kind of to springboard off that a little bit, has this kind of been special for you getting to be a part of this unique era in one championship? And I mean, just MMA overall and I guess life, but, has this been special for you getting to be part of this?
It's been special for me in a number of ways. I guess the little kid in me has come out being on TNT. Man, I used to watch TNT when it was WCW, back in the day. When they were broadcasting WCW, everyone knows I'm a huge pro wrestling mark. And I was WCW guy during the Goldberg reign. He was my favorite. And I remember tuning in every week to Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and watching Goldberg and the NWO, and was on Turner Sports and Eric Bischoff. And now to be a part of that myself, to be following AEW and following Tony Schiavone and, of course, the legend, good mate of mine, Jim Ross. I mean, that brings out the kid inside of me to be a part of that. 4 weeks in a row on a primetime audience on TNT after professional wrestling. It's been a buzz. and to get the chance to commentate to a mainstream US audience. It's been a while since I've been on US TV from when I was on Access TV several years ago. So to be a part of that and be able to push a product that I'm so proud to be a part of one championship, really has been a joy for me. And I'm going to turn it up a notch this Wednesday on TNT. We're going to have fun with it. We're going to kick its butt. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Absolutely. And just speaking of kind of big moments, you've been a part of a lot in your career. You've commentated fights for the likes of, Megumi Fuji, of course, your best friend, Alistair Overeem. I mean, just what would you say if you could pinpoint something in your career? Maybe it's a fight in particular, but a biggest moment that you've gotten to be a part of?
So many, but I would say the Olympic Games in 2008 in Beijing, commentating the boxing for the Olympic Games was probably the biggest highlight of my career. I think when you're a sports commentator, your highlight is the highlight of the sports world, which is the Olympics. I did that for the ABU, the Asian Broadcasting Union. We'll broadcast to 110 countries. And I was commentating guys like Deontay Wilder and Vasil Lomachenko before they became big stars, and that was a thrill. Mixed martial arts wise, before one championship, doing Dynamite was huge. I love that event every year. It was massive. Doing all the K1 Grand Prix, I think I did maybe 11 K1 Grand Prix. Every time I went over to Japan and did the K1, it was a highlight. There've been so many, man. I've commentated over 6,000 or 7,000 fights now. And there's just, so many, being a part of the Contender and doing the Commonwealth Games. And, there's been so many highlights over the years. Too many to mention, but I think overall the Olympic Games would be the one.
Definitely a fair answer. And I'll leave you with one last here, and I'm going to steal it a little bit from Johnny probably, but what do you think you would be doing if you never got into the combat sports life?
Pardon me, I think of that sometimes. It would probably still be to do with media. Maybe radio announcing. Radio was my first media love. Maybe writing. I spent a long time as a magazine editor, and you guys know that I still write. I just had a memoir come out last year called Goodnight Irene, which you can get at all good bookstores. So I'd probably be involved in media, either on radio or writing for magazines, newspapers, etc. But I found my way into commentating fight sports when I was 21 years old. I began this in 1994, and I'm still here and still going strong and still loving every moment of it.
Awesome stuff, Michael. Congrats on the memoir, and thank you for the time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Drake. Michael, we got a question here from Chris De Santiago of MMA Island. This was Chris's question. With one being on American primetime, it opened a lot of doors for a lot of new viewers. Were you surprised with how many MMA fans did not know that grounded knees were legal following the Demetrius Johnson KO?
Pardon me, guys. A bit of a rough voice this morning. Got to clear this up before Thursday. I wasn't surprised. We could understand that when the majority of the Western world think mixed martial arts, they think UFC, not one championship. That's just a fact. Here in the East, when they think mixed martial arts, they think one championship. So all the kickback that came after the Demetrius Johnson loss from those knees to the head by Moraes came from the Western audience, came from the US audience, who are used to not seeing this rule in UFC. So it doesn't surprise me at all. Our job is to educate these new fans and say, hey, there's not just one rule set out there. There's also our rule set, which encourages more action, which encourages more use of technique. And one of those techniques is knees to the head of a grounded opponent, which are perfectly legal. So no, it doesn't surprise me at all. And that's, it doesn't surprise any of us here at One, because like I said, the West thinks of UFC and they don't use the same rule set as us.
Thank you for that, Michael. We have a question here from Jude Briosis of Overtime Heroics. Jude, you have the floor.
Hey, Michael. Good day to you. The one on TNT
Hello,
series,
Jude.
as I've seen on the socials, drew the attention of many fans in America. People who did not even have a clue about the promotion were amazed by the one rule set. So, what's your message, or like, what can you promise to the Western fans? Can they expect more events to be broadcasted live in the near future?
First of all, Overtime Heroics is a website I'm really enjoying lately. I only discovered it lately, so well done. Second of all, Gianni, could you repeat that question for me? I didn't catch the end of it.
Oh, thank you for the recognition of Overtime Heroics. The question was, the one on TNT series, as I've seen on the socials, drew the attention of many fans in America. People who did not have a clue about the promotion were amazed by the one rule set. What's your message, or what can you say or what can you promise to Western fans, and can they expect more events to be broadcasted live in the near future?
I think you're asking if we're going to broadcast more events on TNT in the future, and the answer is yes. I know that talks are underway at the moment for another season of TNT shows to happen this year. When I say a season, I mean like a whole month on TNT, like here in April. We're considering this our first season of one on TNT. TNT seem to be very happy with it. The sponsors that have come on board, DraftKings and Geico and, Roman, are all very happy with the exposure they've gotten as well. And we're obviously very happy with the product we put out. The ratings have been very good as well. So I definitely think we're going to see more on one on TNT. It's a great partnership. We're enjoying working with TNT. They've done tremendous things for sports over the years, and they're still doing tremendous things. And once again, I go back to wrestling, what they did for WCW in the day, what they're doing for AEW right now. AEW floats around the number 2 show on cable network ratings, doing like 1.1 million views, which is a testament not only to the product of AEW, but a testament also to the tremendous work at Turner Sports. And, hopefully working with Turner, we can move up those ratings as well and continue to improve our rating figures. So, we're definitely excited to showcase more on TNT in the future and really try and open up one championship even more to Western fans. That said, though, it's not as if there's no chance for Westerners to watch, for US fans not to watch us when we're not on TNT. Download the BR Live app. All our shows, every one of our shows is on BR Live. Okay, download the One Super app, download YouTube. All of our shows are broadcast live on YouTube. They're live on the One Super app as well. If you can't access the YouTube, get a VPN, man. Access it, work it. I mean, the fights are always on YouTube the day after. If you miss them, upload on YouTube and check them all out. So there's no excuse for missing out on one championship, even when we're not on TNT. We're always there. We are the product that gives you the most access to pretty much any sport, not any fight organization, any sport on the planet. I don't know any other sport organization that gives you as much online access to all of our fights as One Championship. And it shows, in Tubular data last month in March, we were the number 2 ranked social media video views in the world over all sports organizations, over the cricket, over the EPL, over Glory, over UFC, everything. The only thing that beat us, I think, was WWE. So we are there. There's so much online that you can have access to it. So I just want to hammer home that point that just because we're going off TNT after this week until our next season, you can still tune in to all the shows. You just got to know how, and that how is through the app, YouTube, and BR Live.
Yeah, I agree with you, Michael. One is always available if you just put effort to watch it. All right, thank you, Michael.
Thank you, and again, good job on Overtime Heroics. I enjoy it.
Thank you, my pleasure, man.
Our next question is from Nick Akin of SCMP MMA. Nick, please go ahead.
Hey, voice, how's it going?
Good, Nick. Good to hear from you again, mate.
Yeah, man. We caught up a bit last week. You couldn't really talk about you couldn't give us the results to the fights from one on TNT3, obviously, but now we can talk about it a little bit. So just wanted to get your thoughts on John Lineker and where does he go next? Do you want to see that Bibiano Fernandez bantamweight title fight?
Look, I think it has to happen. There's nowhere else for Lineker to go. Well, okay. Lineker beat Bellignon and beat him effectively. Bellignon was a former champion, and him and Bibiano went back and forth so many times. Then he beat Worthen. We know that Worthen was a late replacement, but Worthen's a very tough guy. He beat Worthen effectively with one punch. You know, there's other people in the bantamweight division that they can put before Lineker, but I think the fight that everyone wants to see is Lineker-Bibiano. Lineker's called him out 2 or 3 times now. Brazilian on Brazilian, you know, power versus technique. I think it'd be an awesome matchup. I know it's one all the fans would like to see. I think it'd be a blockbuster. Anywhere you do it, you know, big main event. I want to see it. I want to see it. I have my opinion as to who I think would win it. I won't give that away. Many of you may think that, you know, Lineker can starch Bibiano, but nobody starches Bibiano. We haven't seen Bibiano for a while, but pound for pound, he may still be the best in one championship, him and Christian Lee. It'll be an awesome fight.
And Yuya Wakamatsu, he beat Reese McLaren. Do you think Yuya now is next in line for Adriano? How does that division play out, the flyweights?
I like that. I like Yuya getting a crack at Adriano. I think that'd be a good title fight. The flip side to that is I've been saying for a while I want to see Reese McLaren versus Demetrius Johnson. I think that's a marvelous matchup. 2 very aggressive but technical men. You've got that ultra aggressive and innovative submission style of Reese McLaren, who can also trade very well on the feet. You've got, you know, the superbness all around of Demetrius Johnson. I think that's a great battle. For me, they're the 2 fights I want to see in that division next. I want to see Moraes versus Wakamatsu. I want to see Demetrius Johnson versus Reese McLaren. And then, you know, if Moraes beats Wakamatsu, if DJ beats Reese, then we get hopefully Moraes versus DJ part 2.
And I think a lot of people were picking Gafarov to beat Okrayun and go and fight Eddie Alvarez. Were you a little surprised by Oak, his performance? Were you impressed by him? And do you think he's got a chance to stop Eddie Alvarez?
I think Okrayun's got a great chance to beat Eddie. I really do. You watch the fight against Gafarov again and just look at what Okrayun does well. And it's the stuff that can undo Eddie. First of all, the straight right hand, the wingspan. I think Oak's got like maybe like 3 inches on Eddie in wingspan and in height. That's a lot for a guy that shoots straight left and right down the tube. Try and keep Eddie on the outside, on the end of very powerful punches. Eddie likes to get on the inside, get in the pocket, clinch up, take you down. Now, Gafarov had a lot of trouble taking Okrayun down. Okay, Oak's defense is superb. His takedown defense. And then when you're trying to get on the inside, he can light you up with his hands. That's problematic for Eddie. Okay, that's problem number 1. Problem number 2 is the leg kicks. Have a look at the very first technique that Oak throws against Gafarov. It's a leg kick that buckles Gafarov's left leg. Now, remember what Edward Folayang did to the legs of Eddie Alvarez? Alvarez doesn't like good leg kickers. And Okrayun's a very good leg kicker who could damage Eddie's legs straight away. Okay, so that's problem number 2. Problem number 3, Eddie gets on top of Okrayun, gets him on his back, starts to work on him. Okrayun's got tremendously flexible legs, and he can throw up that triangle that we saw him work against Gafarov and come very close to locking up Gafarov with. So that's problem number 3. Okrayun is also 7 years younger, so he's going to have youth on his side. Okay, it could be another problem for Eddie. Eddie has flown so many miles to get back here. You're going to remember, Eddie fought on TNT 1, flew all the way from Philly to Singapore, 9,500 miles, went back to Philly, 9,500 miles, came back to Singapore, 9,500 miles. That's over 27,000 miles that Eddie Alvarez has flown in the last 3 weeks to get his chance to crack the top 5. That says something about Eddie Alvarez. What a freaking warrior. But how much will all that travel, the time zone jumping, the mileage take its toll on Eddie Alvarez this week? We don't know. Okrayun flew Korea, Singapore, Singapore, Korea, Korea, Singapore, much, much shorter distance, and he's younger. So keep that in mind as well. There's a lot of what ifs. Also, Okrayun traditionally starts slow. Eddie Alvarez starts fast. that could be problematic for Okra Yun. He's got to come out of the gate firing at all cylinders. He can't let Eddie establish momentum and authority early. So that's my breakdown of this fight, guys. And I really hope you seriously consider this one in your breakdowns of it online. I think it's going to be a tremendous match.
Yeah, just finally for me, I wanted to ask a little bit about Eddie as well. Do you think, with all the stuff that's gone on, it's been kind of bizarre circumstances recently for him? You mentioned the travel as well, but is there going to be a lot of pressure on him? He's 1-2, I think, over 3 fights in one championship. It's not been the start he wanted in this promotion. Is that going to play a factor? The pressure on his shoulders, maybe some thoughts in his head?
Of course, a tremendous pressure, absolutely tremendous pressure. The pressure just to break into the top 5. I mean, you've got to win this to break in the top 5. And the pressure that Eddie has put on himself. And that's how a lot of people operate. They operate when they back themselves deliberately into a corner because they want to fight out of that corner. And people do it in sports, in professional life. They will put themselves in that corner and, and come out with a mission statement. And Eddie's mission statement has always been he wants to be the first guy to win the world title across all 3 global organizations. UFC, Bellator, and one championship. No one's done it yet. Okay, Ben Askren tried. He got Bellator, he got 1, and he failed in the UFC. Demetrius Johnson tried. He got UFC. He failed at 1. Eddie is trying to get a crack at Christian Lee. Hasn't worked out for him yet. So every time he steps in there, the pressure is immense to live up to what he said he could do. But at the moment, it's the pressure just to get in that top 5, man. And, if you get in there, you got the pressure of this 22-year-old phenom, Christian Lee, who is just freaking dismantling people, handling people without raising a drop of sweat. I mean, that's a guy 15 years younger who has demolished Nastukin, who demolished Eddie Alvarez, who absolutely demolished Aoki, who may be due for a trilogy match with Eddie Alvarez, who demolished Lapicus, who demolished, took apart Dagi. So, in answer to your question, tremendous pressure for Eddie Alvarez, overwhelming burden of expectation on him worldwide. And being exposed on a primetime US mainstream television audience adds that pressure to Eddie Alvarez.
All right. Cheers, mate. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
That's all the time that we have today, Michael. Thank you so much for your time. We apologize to the media with the questions. Unfortunately, we have Shinya Aoki up next. Michael, look forward to hear you commentating.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy yourselves and catch you on the show. Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Shinya Aoki joining us shortly. Please don't go anywhere. Shinya is coming up really soon.
All right, I'm back briefly. I think. Let me know if you can't hear me. But yeah, that was Michael Schiavello. Shinya Aoki is coming up soon. And then that'll be it for day 1 of 1 on TNT4's Virtual Media Day. Day 2 is a bit more stacked. We got Eddie Alvarez, Onglan Sang, the boss man Chatri is going to be there as well. Eduard Folayang, Jackie Bunton, Colby Northcutt as well. And I think Rugrug is scheduled. I can't see him on that latest one. Oh, I can. There you go. So tomorrow is going to be a packed day. Hopefully going to be here for you streaming it. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And anyway, here's Shinya.
Dear media friends, thank you for staying us. We are still here for day 1 of the 1 on TNT4 Virtual Media Day. For those who just joined us, just a gentle reminder to ask questions. Please raise your hand on Zoom. And when your name and publication is called, we will unmute you. You can direct your questions to the athlete themselves. We have one more athlete before we end the day today. The former 1 lightweight world champion, Japanese MMA legend, Shinya Tobikan Judan Aoki is here with us.
Hello.
Hello, Shinya. How are you doing?
Good.
Shinya, we have questions from the media all over the world ready for you. I'm going to read them out to you, okay?
Okay.
First question is from Leon Jennings of Asian Persuasion MMA. Leon, please go ahead.
Hey, Shinya. So you were due to fight Cosmo Alex, Sage Northcutt. He pulled out. You've got the trilogy with Folayang, going from one type of striker to another type of striker. How has that affected your preparations for the fight?
青木選手、西村です。よろしくお願いします。
お願いします。
一つ目の質問なんですけども、最初、セージノーツカット選手との試合だったんですけども、急遽、エドワード・フォリアン選手との3度目の対戦が決まったんですけども、その試合に臨むにあたっての準備は何か影響ありましたでしょうか？
いや、影響はないんじゃないですか。ずっと練習してたら別に変わんないし。はい。
Even though there was a change in his opponent, he's been practicing throughout his life and he's daily practicing, so there's probably no effect.
Cool. Just want to ask you as well, what were your thoughts on Eddie Alvarez's his disqualification?
前回のエディ選手の、反則負けについて青木選手の見解を聞かせてください。
いや、そんな危ない話を俺にさせんなよ。
わかりました。Hey, it's a dangerous comment, so don't make me do that.
Lastly,
I don't want to get in trouble.
Lastly, talking of Eddie, you've got one trilogy this week against Eduard Folayang. Eddie Alvarez, is that another trilogy you'd like to get maybe later this year?
まず今回フォレアン選手との、ラバーマッチになると思うんですけども、エディ選手とも3度目の対戦になると思うんですけど、それも望んでますか？
いや、何も望んでないですよ、僕別に。フォレアンとの試合も望んでたわけじゃないし、そういう星の下に生まれてんすよね。
はい。Well, he wasn't expecting Folayang's trilogy, and he's not expecting against Eddie. You know, whatever he wants, he never gets it. So he's not asking for anything.
Thanks. Good luck. Thanks, Yazoo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our second question is from Jay Anderson of Cage Side Press. Jay, please go ahead.
Thanks very much. Ohayo gozaimasu. Genki desu ka?
ありがとう、元気です。
Shinya, first of all, I would just like your thoughts on Christian Lee's recent performance against Timofey Nasyukin.
まず、すみません、青木選手についてじゃないんですけど、クリスチャンとティモフェイの試合を見て、なんか感じたことがあれば教えてください。
いや、若いなって。若いし、強いですよね。若いし強くなってるし、僕やったら2年ぐらい前ですけど、強くなるなと思ってこれからやって、間違ってなかったなと思いますけどね。
はい。Well, he felt a lot of youth in Christian. He's really young, and he saw a lot of improvement. I think Shinya fought like 2 years ago against Christian, and he knew that he's gonna get better and stronger, and he really did.
And if you are victorious this week, that's going to be 4 wins in a row. Do you feel that is enough to warrant another title shot, another match with Christian Lee, or is that something you even think about at this point?
今回もしフォレアン選手に勝てば、1で4連勝になると思うんですけども、またクリスチャンの、タイトルを取り返しにいけると思いますか？その権利を得れると思いますか？それを望んでますか？
いや、あんまり望んでないです。とにかく試合やって楽しくやりたいなっていう感じです。
He's not looking at really looking at Christian's belt. He just wanna continuously fight and enjoy the martial arts.
And last question for me. I mean, I see your T-shirt there. Age is just a number. What is the secret to your success at your age?
また T シャツでのツッコミなんですけど、年齢、年取っても、いまだにもう現役バリバリで強いんですけど、その秘訣は何ですか、ズバリ？
ずっと練習することと、 格闘技がいいご飯食べていい練習してよく寝ること、その基本をただ当たり前にしっかりやることじゃないでしょうか。
はい。Well, it's not a secret, but practice every day, eat good food, do good practice, and sleep well. Just do the basic, important things that you have to do in life, and then you can just keep your condition.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Thank you.
Our next question will be from Jacob Janowski of Bloody Canvas MMA. Jacob, go ahead.
Look, Shinya, how do you build off your last win against Folayang? Even though it was very quick, how do you see yourself improving upon that win?
前回のフォレアン選手との試合なんですけど、早い段階で勝利を収めることができたと思うんですけども、そうなった理由といいますか、どこが変わったと思いますか、前回の試合と比べて。
前回のこの2回目の試合
そうです、はい。フォレアン選手1試合目の試合と2試合目を比較して。
お互いなんか別人ですよね。状況も違いますし。だから、何が変わったってわけじゃないですけど、お互い年取っていろいろ変わったんじゃないでしょうか。
Well, the situation is different, and it's like both people are like different persons. Like the first match and second match is totally different. You never know what's going to happen, so it just happened and it happened.
And you're getting into the more latter part of your career, but you're still finding success. Do you see this as a final run for gold, or are you just going to continue until you can't go anymore?
年齢を重ねてキャリアもだいぶ後半に差し掛かってると思うんですけども、それでも素晴らしい結果を残していると思うんですけども、もう青木選手自身今がもうピークで、もう最後の勝負だっていう感じですか、それとももうやれるところまでやり続けるぞっていう気持ちですか？
今別に終わりだともあんまり思ってないし、3年、4年、5年ぐらい前に、ミチルソンが、もうあなたはもう終わりに、みんなが終わりだって言ってるけど、なんで続けるんですかみたいな、いや、大きなお世話だなって思ったんだけど、なんだろう、別に好きだからずっとやってるだけで、別に今がベストとも思わないし、常にやれるとこまで一生懸命やっていきたいなと思ってます。
はい。Well, he doesn't really see the end. Like I think it was like 3 or 5 years ago, Mitchelson, he asked the coach question like, hey, Shinya, you're towards the end. How do you feel? But for him, he's like, hey, dude, like, it's not the end. I don't see the end. And I don't feel that I'm in the best condition right now, and I'm still improving. So he'll just, keep on continuing, try enjoy the fights and just keep on doing what he can do.
All right, that's all I have. Thank you, Shinya.
Thank you.
This next one's going to go to Nick Atkin of South China Morning Post. Nick, go ahead.
Hey, Shinya. Just on the Eduard Folayang fight, he's lost 4 of his last 5 fights. If you beat him this week, do you think we might see Eduard consider walking away from MMA? He's obviously a legend of Filipino MMA, but do you think maybe he might think about that?
青木選手、今、フォレアン選手、確か4連敗中なんですかね。で、今回もし青木選手との試合で負けた場合、引退の2文字が頭をよぎると思いますか？
いやいや、全然知らないよ。フォレアンに聞けよ。俺に聞くなよって思って。みんな仲良く。はい、みんな元気にやりましょうよ。はい。
Well, like, to be honest, like, it's none of his business. Just ask Eduard about whether he's going to think about retirement. He just wants, everyone to like have fun and be healthy and continue the fight.
Awesome. And if Sage Northcutt can get healthy again, he had some lingering problems from COVID. Would you still like to run that fight, do that fight? Would you want to fight Sage Northcutt?
セージのスカット選手、今ちょっとコロナの影響でちょっと体調不良なんですけども、また元気になったらセージ選手との試合を望みますか？
まあ、チャンスがあればね、やりたいと思いますけど、まあね、まず元気になってもらって、いろいろ大変だと思うんで、はい。
Well, if he has a chance, of course, he wants to compete with say North. Good, but before that, I hope he gets healthy again and get back to his good condition.
I just wanted to get Shinya's thoughts on some of his fellow Japanese athletes in one. Do you think Yuya Wakamatsu is now deserving of a flyweight title shot after that victory over Reese McLaren?
青木選手のなんですか、日本人の仲間たちの状況について聞いていきたいんですけど、若松優也選手、前回リースに勝ちまして、次フライ級のタイトルマッチいけると思いますか？
いや、だから知らないよ、そんなの俺に聞いたって。俺がタイトルマッチさせてあげる力もないんだよ、残念ながら。
Unfortunately, Shinya doesn't have the power to give you the title shot, so sorry, but don't ask me. Ask someone else.
Okay, and maybe he has the same answer, but I just wanted to see how he feels Itsuki Hirata may do in the women's atomweight Grand Prix coming up.
同じような答え返ってくるかもしれないんですけど、可愛がってる五木選手、グランプリ次始まりますけど、どこまでいけると思いますか？
いや、多分どこまでいけるかって話で言うと、まず期待からすると上には行ってほしいけれども、上に上がってほしいけど、まあ、そんなに甘くないと思うんですよね、格闘技って。なんで、割と厳しい結果が待ってるんじゃないかなとは思います。
はい。If you talk about Shinya's expectation, he would like Itsuki to go as high as possible, but to be honest, martial arts, it's not that easy, it's not as simple, and probably there's going to be a really tough result waiting for Itsuki.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Shinya.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Drake Riggs of My MMA News. Drake, you're up.
Shinya, you've had an incredible career, definite legend in the sport. I'm just curious if there's a fondest memory that you can pick out of your amazing career and all the fights that you've had.
青木選手、もう長年やってきまして、もう素晴らしいキャリアですし、もう間違いなく MMA でもレジェンドだったと思うんですけど、その中で青木選手が選ぶいい思い出ってありますか？
いい思い出。いい思い出。
ここが俺の絶頂だったみたいな。
いや、これから先にあるんじゃないかなって思ってます。今んとこないな。これから先にあるんじゃないかな。
So far, he doesn't have any. He can't think of a good memory. Hopefully, it'll come soon.
Fair enough. And in terms of opponents, though, fought so many people, as I mentioned. But in terms of legends, maybe, is there anyone that you wish that you got to fight that maybe you haven't yet?
数多くの有名な選手、他のレジェンドと言われる選手とも人を繰り広げてきたと思うんですけど、まだこいつはすごい強いって言われてるけど、まだやれてない選手って誰かいますか？やってみたいなっていう。
いや、あんまりないっすよね。みんな強いし、今、もう。みんな強いから、そんなに誰とやってみたいとかなくて、とりあえず、試合して一喜一憂していきたいなと思ってます。
Well, recently, like every match he gets, he always has a really good, strong opponent. So he doesn't really have anyone he wishes to fight. So he just wants to continue to keep on fighting and enjoy the victory.
Of course. Well, best of luck. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Sorry about that. Next question is from Jackson Garth of Phantom Sports Network. Jackson, go ahead, please.
Can you hear me? We're good? All right, there we go. Hey, Shinya, how you doing? Where does Folayang fall on your list of top competitors that you faced before?
フォレラン選手なんですけども、青木選手、今までいろんな強豪と戦ってきたと思うんですけど、フォレラン選手は、どこら辺の選手だと思いますか？ ランキングと言いますか。
いや、強いと思いますよ。でも、どこら辺の選手とあんまり、それを試合前にお互い言ってあんまり意味があると思わないから、とにかく一生懸命向き合いたいですね。はい。
It's not very. He doesn't feel comfortable about answering this question before going to the bout. But he really feels that Eduard Folayang is one of the best opponent he's faced in the past, and he just wants to both have a good show, put up a good show.
Of course, and of course, we're expecting that great show. But what are your expectations, Shinya, for the match itself, other than winning and ending this trilogy with a long-time rival, even though it's not a bad blood long-time rival?
長いある種ワンではライバル関係がずっとあったと思うんですけども、今回どういう結果を望みますか？
どういう結果望みますか？勝ちたいなと思いますけど。
Well, definitely he's going for a win, and that's the only result he's looking at, a win against Folayang.
All right, thank you for your time. Hope you get him out in the first round by rear naked or something like that, armbar, anything. One of your classics. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Next up is Nisi Icasiano of IB Times. Nisi, you are up.
Hi, good morning, Shinya. Just a question. I know this rivalry has started in 2016. He took the belt from you. A few years later, you took the belt from him. Do you think Eduard Folayang will offer something new in this third fight, especially that familiarity is now a factor?
青木選手、確か2016年に、フォロヤン選手が青木選手からベルトを奪って、その数年後に青木選手が奪い返します。で、2試合したことでお互いのことをもう知り尽くしていると思うんですけども、今回のその3回目の対戦で何か新しいことをフォロヤン選手が見せてくると思いますか？
わかんないっすよ、そんなの。言われても困るよ、そんなの。わかんない。
That's a really tough question. He might show something new, he might not. He can't really tell.
Thank you, Shinya.
Next question is from Jack Gotzel of Tarps Off Sports. Jack, please go ahead.
Sorry about that. Can we hear me?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Thank you for your time, Shinya. You're a legend. You're currently sitting at 29 submissions. Would it mean something extra to get that 30th submission? That's such an impressive number.
青木選手、今、キャリアの中でも、すでに、合計29回の一本勝ちをしていると思うんですけど、次、多分、30回目になると思うんですが、その30回目っていうのは何かの節目と言いますか、なんか、どうですか、節目になりますか、なんか狙ってますか、30本目を。
全く狙ってない。勝てればいいです。
His 30th submission, he's not really aiming for it. He's not going for it. He just wants to win.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Up next is Ivan Stewart of Dugout Philippines. Ivan, you're up.
All right. Thank you, Gianni. Konnichiwa. Okay. My first question is, I presume you were thinking about just staying at home to watch One TNT fight because your fight has been canceled. I believe Manong Edward was thinking the same, but now you're fighting on One TNT 4. So do you think this short notice will be a concern to you or for both of you guys?
青木選手、前回の TNT で試合する予定だったのがちょっとキャンセルになってしまって、ショートノーティスで次 TNT4 に急遽参戦することになったんですけど、この短い期間での準備期間っていうのは何か影響ありそうですか？
いえ、お互い4月29日に試合する予定だったの。何言ってる？
It wasn't a short notice. They were already told that he's going to fight in April 29th, so it's not a short notice. Both should be prepared already. Well.
All right. So with because I know your first two fights were with the title on the line, but this time with no title is on the line. So what would be on the line then, aside from a possible comeback to the world title picture?
過去の試合、大概タイトルマッチが多かったですけど、今回過去っていうのは、フォレアン選手の試合っていうのは、両方ともタイトルマッチだったんですけども、今回その3回目の対戦で、タイトルマッチではなく、ベルト以外、ベルトを狙った戦いじゃないんですけど、ベルト以外で何か得るものってありますか、この試合で。
いや、もう自分が好きだから試合してるだけです。
He's just fighting because he loves the sport. So even though there's no belt, it doesn't matter. He's just going for the belt, the win. Sorry.
All right. Thank you very much. ありがとうございます。
Our next question goes to Chris Mancuso of Tops Off Sports. Chris, please go ahead. Chris, can you hear us? Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead with this question. In Shinya's mind, what is the most difficult part about fighting Folayang? What makes him such a tough matchup?
青木選手、フォレアン選手と戦うにあたって、一番なんていうんですか、厳しいところといいますか、苦戦しそうなところってどこになりますか？
やるしかない。もう勝負するしかないし、戦うしかない。はい。
It's always been tough, and he can't really tell which part is going to be tough. He just have to do it. He just got to fight. That's all.
We're going to go to Gong Magazine. Go Matsuyama, please go ahead.
はい、ゴンガ松山です。お疲れ様です。はい、先ほどエディとの3度目の試合はあるいはフォレアンの試合も望んでいないというふうに言いましたけど、望んでない試合を今回受けることにした気持ちを教えてください。
試合は全部望んでないんだよ。誰と来たって誰とでもやるんだよ、俺たちの仕事はっていうことですよね。だから、なんか望んでないって言われ方するとすごい嫌な言い方ではあるんだけど、来たらやるっていう話ですよ、なんでも。はい。
3度目の2度対戦した選手はこれまで JG やら菊池選手やらあると思うんですけど、3度対戦した選手はいないと思います。
いや、いるんですよ。ヨアキム・ハンセンという。
あ、そうだ。ヨアキムはそうか。3度対戦するってどういう感覚なんですか？
いや、なんだろう、一試合一試合別ですよね。もう、格闘技って一期一会のもんだし。
なるほど。
一試合別ですからね。
では、今のエディ・フォラヤンの直近。
Sorry, excuse me for interrupting. Yasu, can you please translate this to English, please?
Sorry.
Yeah, sure. The first question was whether he was about in the previous interview. Someone asked him whether he answered that he's not expecting Folayang or Eddie for the trilogy, but he said it's not about him wanting the fight. It's about he's a fighter it's a job. So it's not about him wanting the fight. It's about whether he just have to do it. It's his job. So it's not about wanting a fight or not. And the second question was how he feels about fighting a trilogy, and I think he's going to answer that next.
Okay. Last question です。今のフォラヤンの、試合について、試合ぶりも見て、フォラヤンという選手をどういうふうに捉えてますか？
まあ、お互いで年を取って衰えもあるけれども、その分お互い経験したこともあって、なんかまた 二人で新しい世界観というか新しい勝負になるから、まあ厳しい試合が待ってるんじゃないかなと思ってますけどね。
わかりました。
The third question was how do you feel about the recent Folayang? And he said both of them they're both aged but at the same time they have more experience than before, so it's definitely going to be a tough match coming up.
Thank you.
Yasu, Shinya, we're going to go into some rapid fire questions. Whoever comes to mind first, just go ahead and answer, okay?
Okay.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
ジャーニーからランダムの質問していくんで答えてください。もう思いつきでいいんで。もし一つ目がもしスーパーパワーを手に入れたら、それって何ですか？
スーパーパワー？
いわゆるマーベルで、なんかこう超人能力っていうんですかね。
わかんない。なんで、いや、そうだって手に入れられたらない。
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you can't get any superpower, right? So nothing comes up in his mind.
Fair enough. What's Shinya's favorite country to visit?
青木選手が一番好きな国はどこですか？
日本。
Japan.
What's the one food he can't live without?
これなかったら絶対なかったら耐えられない食事って何ですか？絶対食べたい。
僕ね、食事はどこでも大丈夫です。はい。これは一番強み。はい。
Actually, it's his advantage, but he can eat anything, anywhere.
If you weren't a fighter, what would you be doing for a living?
もし格闘家じゃなければ何をしてると思いますか？
なんだろう。何にもしてないで、家にいる人じゃないですか。自宅警備員。
Probably I'm doing nothing, just staying at home.
Outside of fighting, what is your hidden talent?
格闘技以外で、青木選手の特技って何ですか？
まあ、格闘技以外に特技は、実は格闘技があるから他のことがあるんで、格闘技以外の特技はいろいろあるのかもしれないですよね。文章を書いたり、喋ったりとか、いろいろあるんだと思いますけど、実は格闘技以外の特技は格闘技があるから、他の特技があるから、格闘技以外の特技はないと思います。
Actually, because he does martial arts, he has the other talent. Like, for example, it's going to be like writing articles, talking, those kind of stuff. So the important thing is that he's focused in martial arts. So that's why he gets a lot of other talents from it.
What's the craziest thing you've ever done?
今までの人生の中で青木選手が一番やったクレイジーなことって何ですか？俺イカれてんなと思うような。
結婚したことじゃないですかね。
Getting married.
One last one. What is one of Shinya's favorite movies?
最後の質問なんですけど、青木選手の一番好きな映画は何ですか？
一番好きな映画。なんだろうね。じゃあ、なんだろう。ちょっと出てこない。ごめん。
Sorry, he can't come up with one.
That's fair. Thank you so much for your time, Shinya. Yasu, thank you so much. I'm super excited for your fight. All the best. Members of the media, that concludes day one of our One on TNT4 Virtual Media Day. Tomorrow we have day two, and we have the chairman and CEO, Chatri Sitrachong, joining us. Also joining us will be the one light heavyweight world champion, Ong La Ong Sang, the underground king, Eddie Alvarez, and many more will be there to join us. So please make sure you join us for tomorrow, day two of this One on TNT4 Virtual Media Day. Big thank you so much for coming out and asking questions. If you need further information on the athlete or the event itself, you can contact the One Championship PR team at pr@onefc.com. My name is Gianni Suba, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
All right. Shinya Simps Unite. That was great. I'm not sure how the rapid fire questions were going to go with Shinya, but he played ball a little bit. But yeah, that was it. Reinier de Ridder was first up. Then we had Michael Schiavello, and then Shinya Aoki. Tomorrow, there are loads of people on. I'll flash up the schedule on screen briefly. So please join us tomorrow. Hopefully going to have this for you on live stream. If we do, it'll be 9 a.m. Hong Kong time, Singapore time. So whatever that is, wherever you are in the world, I can't figure it out for you. My head is too tired from yesterday. Here's the schedule for tomorrow, though. Ong Lan Sang's first up, 9 a.m. Eddie Alvarez, 9:30. Then Chatri. Then Eduard, Folayang. Then Colby Northcutt, Jackie Bunten. And finally, Rug at midday. That's always a fun one with Rug. We'll see what kind of translator they've got for him. Maybe it'll be our man Leite, who is one of our favorite fans on the channel, always commenting, joining the live streams. He might be out there right now. Who knows? We'll see. See if it's Leite. Anyway, that's about it for today. Unless anyone has any burning questions they want to ask, I will also get out of here. Probably should do some work as well. And yeah, that's about it. I think I will leave, but thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in and watching and commenting, interacting. Really appreciate it. Fingers crossed we will be back tomorrow for round 2. Be tough to miss, but I might have a slight scheduling conflict. Hopefully see if I can resolve that now. But I'm out of here. Thank you so much. See